Hi everybody! Today is a very special Read Aloud day. The story I'm going to be reading to all of you today is based on a true story, a story of courage and heritage. This is On the Wings of Eagles by Tami Lehman-Wilzig and illustrated by Alisha Monnin. Here's the cover. It's beautiful. Super excited to dive in, and let's get into the story. And of course, it's published by Apples and Honey Press. Yemen, 1949. A hot, dusty wind blew through the sandy streets of Rada, Yemen. Inside a two-story mudstone house, Hyla gathered scraps of fabric while her grandmother and mother sewed blouses. Her father twisted silver strands to make rings and bracelets. Outside, people talked loudly. Ab stopped to listen, and Jada got up to look out the window. Hyla followed. "What's going on?" she asked her grandmother. "Remember I told you that one day we would fly out of Yemen on an eagle across the desert to Jerusalem and our beloved homeland?" answered Jada, her voice shaking. "It's no longer safe for us in Yemen. It's time for the eagle to come." Alaska, 1949. On the other side of the world, where the air froze and snow blanketed the land, a message arrived at the office of Alaska Airlines. A pilot named Warren read the telegram out loud. "Trouble for Jews in Yemen. Must fly them out to safety in Israel now." "Rescuing people is our kind of job," said Warren. "Makes me proud to be a pilot and why I signed up with Alaska Airlines." His boss nodded in agreement. "You're certainly no stranger to flying in dangerous territory, Warren. Tomorrow, you fly to Yemen." Warren will be flying the Eagle that will take the family to safety. Back in Rada, Hyla helped Jada and her mother quickly wrap a few belongings in a blanket, while Ab filled small bags with the silver jewelry. "Time to go," said Jada. "The eagle has arrived." Hyla ran to the window. "I don't see an eagle." "It's waiting for us in Aden, near the water," explained Jada. Hyla slowly walked around the room one last time, memorizing its colors, shapes, and smells. The family set off on the long, sandy trek to Aden. Hyla's bare feet hopped from the left to the right. "Hot!" she sobbed. "Soon we'll reach a village where we can rent animals to ride on," assured Ab. In the nearby village, Ab found 3 men with donkeys. "No more walking. These men will accompany us." Hyla and her family traveled on. That night, they stopped to sleep in a village. When they awoke, they found a bitter surprise. "Where are the men and the donkeys?" shouted Ab, looking down the road. "Where's my precious jewelry? Why? Why did I trust them?" "Please, let's just go home," Hyla cried. Jada stroked her cheek. "Everything will be all right because we are going home. Yemen was never our forever home." Jada gently took Hyla's hand and motioned to Ab and "Come, the eagle is waiting." They trekked 2 more days, 4 more days. Exhausted, aching all over, they finally reached the port city of Aden, where they saw hundreds of tents lined up. Hyla spotted a man sitting in a circle of boys and girls. He had very short hair and wore a hat she'd never seen before. She watched him make the children laugh. The man saw her and lifted his hand high, motioning her to join them. She didn't move. He stood up and walked over. "Salam," said Warren, bending down. "Salam," whispered Hyla. Warren pointed to the boys and girls. Hyla looked back toward her family. They nodded okay, so Warren guided her to the circle. Warren gave each child a piece of paper and showed them how to fold it into a long, pointy shape and throw it into the air. Giggling, everyone followed his instructions. everyone except Hyla. She stared at the wide blue sky, searching for the eagle. The next morning, Warren gathered a group and led them to a big metal thing. To Hyla, it looked like a monster. She stared at it, then at the pointy paper in his hand. Both of the same shape. The people were shocked. What was this? Someone rolled stairs toward the monster. Jada raised her arm, shook her head, and cried out, "La! La!" She was not going to climb into that monster. Soon, everyone was shouting, "La! La! La! La!" Surprised by their reaction, Warren turned to a nurse sent by Israel for support and asked, "What's going on?" "They've never seen an airplane before," she answered. "I think we have to ask their rabbi for help." The rabbi looked into their eyes. "In the book of Exodus, it is written that God carried us on eagle's wings to safety. Where is the eagle?" Warren closed his eyes and shook his head. "I get it now. They're terrified. This is not what they expected." A few hours later, Warren and his crew had an idea. That night, while everyone slept, they painted a large eagle around the plane's door and sides. The next morning, when Hyla saw the eagle, she grabbed her grandmother's hand and pointed. "I told you an eagle would take us," said Jada. Hyla and her family approached the plane to climb the stairs. Suddenly, a paper plane landed at Hyla's feet. It had an eagle drawn on it. She knew who sent it. While bending down to pick it up, she spotted Warren reading a note. His face became serious. Warren held up the letter for his co-pilot to read. "Arab soldiers have missiles aimed at the sky. One wrong turn and you're in trouble." Inside the aircraft, Hyla and her family heard the propellers whir. "So this is what an eagle sounds like," Hyla said cautiously. The plane rose high into the air. Soon, it made a sharp turn. Hyla heard loud booms. The plane rocked. Hyla grabbed Jada's hand. Another boom, and another. "Shema Yisrael," Jada cried out, praying to God. Warren held his breath as he carefully got the plane back on course. "That was a close one," he exhaled. 3 hours later, the plane touched down in Israel. Stairs were rolled to the door. Warren stood by the cockpit, waving goodbye to his passengers. Hyla clutched the paper plane in her left hand, and Jada with her right hand. When Jada reached the ground, she bent down and kissed it. "We have returned home on the wings of an eagle," she whispered. Her eyes were wet with tears. Suddenly, Hyla ran back up the stairs. She motioned to Warren for something to write with. He handed her a pencil. She turned over the paper plane and drew a heart. With a big smile, Hyla gave the paper plane to Warren. He clutched it to his heart and bowed his head. Then Hyla waved goodbye and bounded down the stairs to join her family in their forever home. The end. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you learned something. And I hope you learned to celebrate your heritage, just as they did. Just as the book of Exodus, and the Torah, and the Bible, and all forms of religious text command us to. Bye.